everyone. Welcome to new podcast, Coffee with YEA. My name is Amila Gadzo from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Our today's guest is Nikola Vučić, young journalist and activist who in unique ways draws attention to social problems such as dealing with the past, gender equality, and breaks down predictions when it's come to phenomenon of feminism in B&H society. He's the author of the book, Critique of Toxic Masculinity, and the author and the host of a show Beyond the Frame on N1 television. Nikola, you often welcome your guest with welcome to program N1, but today I'll say welcome to Coffee with YEA.
Thank you so much, Amila.
The feminist movement in Western Balkans dates back to 1940s. However, today there are a few men like you who define themselves as feminists. I'm interested in a way that made you start thinking about this social phenomenon and what prompted you to be one of the active participants in advocating for gender equality.
As a student at the Sarajevo University, I had an opportunity to listen to academic presentations held by scholars focusing on literature, gender, and culture in a broad sense. And it was, Amila, surprised me how poor my knowledge and understanding of culture and of my society is. I was really uninformed of the fact that literature does not only mean nice wording, that we get absorbed by the feel better. That culture is not innocent at all, but had been contaminated over centuries by different ideological and political strategies that human rights are breaking often without punishments.
Yeah, that's a huge problem for our society.
Yes, the world of new knowledge that I meet was building a completely new, more critical views of the world and society. The dynamic of interpersonal relationships, gender regimes, and social hierarchy from the great spectrum of the human rights theory and practice. I was most interested by the issue of gender-based violence. It was a reason why I started studying toxic masculinity and feminism. I published the book on toxic masculinity topic. Young people need to know that men can be feminists.
Yeah.
I mean, can be feminists and human rights activists for women's human rights too, Amila.
Yeah. When you mentioned your book, my next question is related to your book. In your book, you mentioned the term ethno-nationalistic war men as a form of dominant male behavior in B&H public space. Can you explain to those who watch us the term in which manifests itself and what consequences it has for our society in general, you can say, in Western Balkans? Because we are almost the same on all Western Balkans.
Yeah. Yeah. The wartime, 1990s, brought a darker era of violence, which affected women's position and the role of women in family, society, and the politics too. The years of war did not only result in deaths of thousands of women and men, in ruins of cultural and historic heritage and economic collapse, but it made a military ethno-nationalist man the personification and metaphor of the subject's value, which will for centuries remain the normative form of masculinity and illustration of a man ready to defend his fatherland. Male warrior became the central figure and definition of the essence of the man's existence. That is problem. Retraditionalizational age did not only have as a consequence the degradation of women's rights in society and the full domination of phallus over vulva, but it laid the firm foundation for division of gender roles of men and women, Amila, which made the masculinity as a definition, as a norm.
It was very pleasant to listen to you. And I'm interested in one other question. How difficult is today in our broken societies that you mentioned to do something what you do? And even you write an amazing book. We are all the time mention that. And how do you feel to criticizing a patriarchal relationship in society, which is deeply rooted more than half a millennium?
Nothing is difficult if we know what we want and if we networking well in this region. My book is just one small part of a great human rights platform of Western Balkans region. And I'm happy because my research work, my book reads a large number of young people in Bosnia and in Balkans region, not only in Bosnia. This morning, I got a message from a young man from Kosovo who read the book. That's wonderful. That's what I wanted, Amila.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was your goal. Many in Bosnia and Herzegovina are not aware that verbal violence and sexual harassments are punished by the law on domestic violence and violence against women. How we can improve this situation? Recently, UN Women, with support of the EU, implemented project called Implementing Norms and Changing Minds. Is that a way to do this, to do it or to solve this, not in general solve this problem, but to get better situation in our country or in whole Western Balkans?
Mm-hmm. We are faced with a great deal of ignoring the problem. This ignorance comes from the institutions of the system of different levels of government in Bosnia. You mentioned in your message.
I was part of one research in my local community where 50% of our local population doesn't know that 50% of people that this is crime against, this is punished by the law, and I think that that's the huge problem.
Yeah, yes, a huge problem. The information, yes, you mentioned in your message and in your question, can be understood as a consequence of patriarchy. Mm-hmm. We need to fight together, dear Amila, against the culture of violence. This is not just a problem of one Bosnian community like Ilija or some else. It is a problem of our generation.
Yeah, that's the picture of our society, I think.
Yes, I think so.
Another question. You work in profession which traditionally, not only in Bosnia and Herzegovina or in the Western Balkans, are working mostly women. And very often they are who pulls strings in the newsrooms, what is I would like to know what is like to be for Balkan men to under a woman's command. In general,
Balkan,
you can say that I know you and your standards and life goals, but can you comment from a view of one typical Balkan man?
Okay. The typical Balkan man category is not universal.
Yeah.
It is a prejudice, I think, against men as aggressive and some inhuman people. I have to say that. Why do I want to say that? This I want us all to contribute to the understanding of the Balkans as a modern society, healthy society. We must not condemn ourselves to cultural and civilizational death. Amila, I'm happy with my colleagues, women colleagues. Women are great leaders, and you are a great leader at the moment. A leader is always a person who asks questions.
Definitely. Thank you very much. But I would like to talk a little bit about this issue on social media. The impact of social media on our society has often been discussed lately. Young people, but in majority women of all generations are especially targeted. How harmful is freedom that exists on social networks for our society, especially through the comments that you often bring out the worst when the comments or addressed others?
Mm-hmm. I really advocate for online control, but I'm not for censorship. But I'm for a control of hate speech on social media networks. Hate speech against, yes.
It's a huge problem, definitely, in all over the world, and not just in Western Balkans. And can you give us some of you view how to solve this problem?
Yes. I think I don't read comments on social media. Really, comments are so toxic as toxic masculinity.
Okay, we can continue with this question. What is the way you can? What is the way that we can use the social networks to actively promote the advance the fight against like toxic masculinity, as you say, or another ways of hate speech and that you have initiated, like in all your initiatives? I know that you're not just active in a way we are talking about your book in all many aspects of human rights.
My book rejects as unscientific the idea that masculinity is one and only, and that there is an ideal that only a few could embody. Following studies and research by the Critique of Toxic Masculinity, it was found that dominant social knowledge about masculinity are not based on scientific or objective criteria. It's a big problem. This should be extended to social networks. Social networks must become a place for knowledge exchange, not just place for fun without responsibility.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, but we are almost, we are close to end. And for the end, can you tell us your message for the people from the Western Balkans, from your view, from view of your work, and what is our what is future for our society?
Mm-hmm. Only together.
To be more, to have more human rights, better European standards, etc.
No, yeah, only together, Amila, we can build a better society for all of us. That's my message for young people who want modern society, modern world. Keep doing this, Amila. Congratulations on your successful activities. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure to have you in Coffee and Yeah. See you next time.
See you.
Bye.